So we post a review. The story follows Toshihiko Ota, a middle school student who is bullied by his classmates because of his smooth, hairless body, which is like that of a baby. Toshihiko's world is changed when he meets Ayako Goto, a girl in the swim club just like him, who is ashamed of the amount of body hair she has. Toshihiko instantly feels a connection to her, given that she is struggling with her own body in the same way he is. She's worried about being teased or made fun of, so maybe even complete and contest because of it. When Ayako realizes how nice Toshihiko's skin is, she asks him how she can become just like him, to free herself of this anxiety. After Toshihiko reveals that he wishes he had body hair and doesn't do anything special, he asks Ayako why she doesn't have shave, and she replies that it's painful. Toshihiko quickly realizes that it's painful because she's not gentle enough, and when Ayako asks him to shave her, he readily agrees, which leads to an odd relationship. When they meet up after school, as Toshihiko can shave Ayako's arms and legs. This single volume story explores themes we often see in Ushimi's works. It's about self-discovery, growing up and coming to terms with who you are, usually from one of the author's works, particularly an early one like this. The storyline is very focused and doesn't go off into any eccentric developments. Here we simply have a boy and girl who can relate to each other's struggles and build a slightly odd friendship because of it. That's not to say there isn't some melodrama, because of course there is, due to the romantic tension that creeps up between the two, but no matter what happens, it never feels like Oshimi allows anything to get away from him. But for as much as I praise Oshimi for being strange with sweet Poolside, a part of my wishes there was a wild plot twist somewhere along the way, because unfortunately he feels underwhelming. It's not helped by the fact that there's not enough time to explore much of Toshihiko and Ayako's lives outside of their after-school meetings, which means their personalities are tightly tied to their body image anxieties. They're not unlikable characters, but I think many readers will want something more to grasp onto, particularly if you're just reading this because you're a fan of the creator. As someone who has now read the majority of Oshimi's work, I find Sweet Poolside interesting from the perspective of being able to compare and contrast with his other output. If you're just picking this up because you find the premise interesting, and I don't think you'll come away disappointed because the story is quite one-note. In fact, I'll go so far as to say it's offensive, which is not something you can usually say about the kind of stories Oshimi comes up with. In terms of artwork, this also doesn't deliver anything special. Released in 2004, it was Oshimi's second serialized series after Avant-Garde, Yumiko, and before Devil Ecstasy, so the art is rough around the edges and not terribly attractive to look at. Characters are the look of model, but the backgrounds are detailed enough to help to set a scene. It is easy to follow the flow of a scene from page to page. And with some inconsistency in drawing Ayako with her body hair too, which is a minor detail but given what the whole story is about. You hope it will be something that's missing when it should be. As previously mentioned, Sweet Poolside comes to the West again thanks to Kodansha, but it has been released under its vertical imprint translated by Shin Lilo. The translation reads well with no issues to note. This manga will also inspire a live-action film released in Japan in 2014. Although at the time of writing, it doesn't appear to be available in English, but it may well turn up in the future. Overall, Sweet Poolside is underwhelming. Unless you're a fan of the author's work, there's fun to be had in comparing it to his other works, and I respect that this is a more restrained story that we usually see from Oshimi, but that's not going to be enough for the vast majority of readers, unfortunately. A free review can be read at Kodansha's website here, 6 out of 10.